as it doesn't look a whole lot like it used to. But for anybody that hadn't taken the tour, I'll show you around. We'll put the video on back in the pictures of what it used to look like. But thanks for coming. We just thought this would be a good opportunity to have a little social gathering, hopefully raise some money for the project that Catherine's going to talk about here in a few minutes. And then get a little traffic through here and kind of christen the house. I don't know who, Catherine said that or somebody said that. So we'll christen it tonight, but there will be no vomiting in the house. We will not christen it in that way.
Whoever vomits gets to pay for the cleanup.
You know, it's not that I don't trust you by putting paper on the floor, but I don't trust you. So anyway, welcome, and we'll turn it over to Catherine's going to talk about her project, and hopefully let you take it from there.
Yeah. So we don't exactly have a seat for everyone, but there's several up here, so help yourself. Just
Oh yeah, she's a program.
More suits, guys.
She's like a teacher's pet.
Can you tell like where she is with class?
She already had one. I will join you with this.
Yeah, I'll sit. Wait, no.
Thank God I only have 2 parents. They're killing me. Oh my gosh. Is everybody comfortable? Great. Well, I am really, really glad that you guys are all here tonight. I'm here to talk with you about a project that I've become really passionate about over the last year. For those of you who may not know, my name is Catherine Barnes, and it's very fitting that we're here tonight to talk about a primary school situation, because the reason I'm here tonight is because of my primary school friendship with Howard Watson, who just talked with you a minute ago. He and I were grade school friends and fell out of touch over many, many decades. And just this past summer, through a mutual friend of ours from grade school, we became acquainted again. And it was really Howard and Mary Beth's idea and offer to host an event for me when they heard about the project that I was doing. So I just really want to warmly thank both of them so much for having us in their home tonight. And Mary Beth is under strict orders to take lots of pictures and videos, so she's going to put that right in your face and not ask her to do that. As you probably know, fundraising is all about promotion, so that means you need to have pictures and video and things that, records of things that you're doing. So probably the most common question that I'm asked is, what do you do, first of all? Do you work for buildOn, this organization here that's on the poster? How did you get involved with this project, etc.? So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on myself and the project. We're going to hear from a couple of our guests who are originally from Burkina Faso and live in the Washington, D.C. area. I just think it's so rich to hear from the people who you're trying to do good work in their country about what kind of work that really is and about them individually as well. So got a little bit of time for that. I'm going to show you a video that I put together very short, just a couple minutes, that kind of encapsulates the whole project. And so maybe we'll be in this space about 20 or 30 minutes, maybe about 30 minutes. So anybody who wants to sit can sit, and if you want to move around seats because you want to share your seat with someone else, feel free, but that's our format here. So as I said, my name is Catherine Barnes, and I did live in this area when I was young and then moved away and came back, so I've been back since '99. And in 2008, I started working for an education nonprofit that's based in DC. It's called College Summit. And we do reform work, education reform work in under-resourced high schools in America, putting kids on the path to college. The reason I bring that up is that I'm actually not an educator. I've never taught in a primary school. I probably never will. But I'm in and around education in my job. And the other connection my job has to tonight's presentation is that after 5 years of working with this nonprofit, we were granted a 2-month paid sabbatical, which is like a benefit that no one has in American work life, but it was available to me. And so I set a goal of really doing something that was going to change me in a big way and was going to stretch me. And the idea that came to me was to do some community service work in Africa for those 2 months. So I was in Senegal for a month and Morocco for a month. In Senegal, I was working with teenage street boys who were trying to learn. We had a microfinance center and we were giving small loans to them and helping them get on their own feet for the first time in their lives. And I was teaching French and English and business math to them. And then in Morocco, I was working with underprivileged women who had never had a chance to learn French because they had never had a chance to go to school. So even though they spoke Arabic, which is the street language, the family language, the sort of language of the day, because of colonization, French is required to advance in the country. So they really couldn't even apply for a job without French. So in both cases, I was in and around education and just became so aware of how important it is. It seems like an obvious thing, but just how critical it is to making progress, to be able to read and write in the language that matters in your country. So when I came home from Africa last winter, it was really hard to get that experience out of my mind. And especially I was in this Western context where we have so much and, you know, we just have so much. It's just, there's no other words for it. And then you think, well, what am I doing with all of that I have? And I just really wanted to take time away from my life to do something for Africa, I guess. That's sort of a generalization. But I just wanted to make an impact where an impact was really desired and sought after. And so I researched with a colleague of mine that I had met in Senegal, and we found this organization called buildOn. I'm a business person, MBA sort of training, and so I'm a little bit picky about the organization that I put my name next to because I was like studying their financials, interviewing them about how much of every donation dollar makes it to the bottom line, because I didn't want to put my name next to something that I couldn't stand up in front of a group of people like you and say, this organization knows what it's doing in the developing world, and they're making a really felt impact, and the people who they're helping are not getting a handout. They're a partner. And I really believe in that in international development, and that's how buildOn operates. So anyway, I decided to sign up and be responsible for building a school in Africa, which is what I'm doing. So the country of Burkina Faso is in the west of Africa, you know, where Ivory Coast, Ghana, it's over kind of in the Horn of Africa over there. In the western part of Africa. And I've never been there, transparency here. But I will be going when we break ground on the school in the summer. So what I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about today really was the impact that I feel that this organization is having internationally. buildOn has built 700 schools now in 7 developing nations, 4 in Africa, Malawi, Mali, Senegal, and just this summer they started building in Burkina Faso last summer, and they built 5 schools in their first few months in the country. They'll build 12 next year, and one of them will be the school that I'm fundraising for. They bring 88 cents of every dollar given in their budget to programming, which if you know anything about the nonprofit sector, 88 cents of every dollar is anything over 80, you are making some major choices on a daily basis on how to control your operations. And I just care about that because I want every single cent that anybody in my network gives to have the biggest impact that it can have. Because you all have choices about what to do with your disposable income or monies that you want to share, and you want to make sure that you're giving it to a cause that's really making an impact. There are about 90,000 women, boys, girls, and adults that are in buildOn schools on a daily basis in those 7 countries. They are going to school in the daytime in primary schools, and in the evening there are adult literacy classes that take place. There's even some new investment from, you've probably heard of Solar City. They've been doing a lot of advertising on Facebook. So Solar City is a buildOn partner, and they're installing these solar panels in these schools in villages that have never, ever had any electricity. And really, they're going to be taking those schools to the next generation because there are low wattage computers that the students can start to use. And with the next gen, you don't need cables. You just go right to satellite for your internet connection. And just imagine a student who has access to that information and those ideas and those books and that knowledge that you know have never had any light after dark in their village. So we're really excited about the people who are drawn into the buildOn community, people who can see